The presentation that you just heard, Patricia Romero, Dr. Romero's presentation was actually a great background for what I'm going to talk about, and I think it was a superb presentation. I hope everyone is paying close attention because she's giving you the state-of-the-art of the knowledge. What I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about three things today. I'm going to first very briefly go over the nature of global challenges. You just heard a series of them. I'm going to recap some of these global challenges. I'm going to approach a solution orientation towards these challenges, and then I'm going to talk with you about the role of universities, specifically research universities, but also teaching universities. I will cover the transformation of the university, critical ingredients for success in this experiment, and then also challenges. Pero antes de empezar quiero intentar una cosa y por favor hazme el favor de lo siguiente. Si todos aquí pueden por unos momentos cerrar sus ojos, por favor. Cerrar sus ojos, todos. Y utilicen su imaginación para encontrarse en el lugar más sereno, el lugar donde es más agradable, donde se sienten en paz con todo, y pónganse así, ahí, con su imaginación y respiren fuerte para poder imaginarse el efecto total de ese lugar. Puede ser océano, puede ser en la playa, puede ser en la montaña, donde sea. Ahora, sin abrir los ojos, levanten la mano si se encuentran en algún lugar en la naturaleza, afuera, en la naturaleza. Ahora, sin bajar las manos, abren los ojos y miren a sus compañeros. So there's a reason why we all find ourselves, when we are most peaceful and most at home and most comfortable with ourselves, we find ourselves out in the natural environment. Because we as human animals are in fact part of the environment. And what I want to talk to you about is this reframing of the human natural system debate, which I'm afraid back in the 60s and 70s was very polarizing. In fact, we demonize human activity. We take humans out of the natural environment and said, the environment is a beautiful place, except for what humans do to it. Sustainability puts humans back into this natural environment and recognizes that we must embrace what humans do. We make cities, we build, we use resources, sometimes too much, and I'm going to talk about that too much. So this framing of sustainability, putting human back in, is practically speaking, it's this allowing for human pursuit and growth, but it cautions us to not take it too far. So that we tax the rest of the natural system beyond its capacity to deliver to us and other living creatures what we call ecosystem services. Clean water, clean air, beautiful places. So first, the nature of the challenges. You heard some of them, you know some others, but I'm just going to hit some real high points. Today there are 6.7 billion people on this planet. By 2030, according to the United Nations, we will be up to 8.4 billion, or about a 25% increase from today. The carbon dioxide has increased from pre-industrial about 280 parts per million to today's of 389, 390. And according to James Hansen, who works for NASA, one of the most famous scientists in this area, 350 is a safe place. We're at 390. It could double by the end of the century. The warming is already being felt. You saw some of this from Patricia. It's the average temperatures are up a degree globally. We have melting ice storms. We have floods. We have many impacts. We also have health impacts and changing health impacts. For the entire world population to consume nature, as does the average American, North American, United States of America, We would need 3.2 planets today. Imagine that. And with television and with internet and with the World Wide Web and with movies and with transportation, and this world is getting smaller. And it's getting smaller because of population, but it's getting smaller because of communication. And people are seeing the life, and in fact on television you mostly see the wonderful part of life, and we are consuming way beyond our fair share of the natural environment. Again, 3.2 planet Earths necessary today if the entire world were living like we do in America. And the population is increasing, and per capita use of energy is increasing. So imagine the strains that we're adding. In fact, one example, a simple example, there are, in Beijing, China, 100,000 new cars every month. 100,000 new cars in Beijing every month. Simply put, we are just using our planet up, and we must do something about it. So that's the grand challenge part, the solution orientation. The good news is that we can adapt. And I appreciate that Dr. Donoso ended with some solutions and some good news. We can adapt to climate change. We can implement solutions both to adapt and to mitigate future climatic changes. One example I just read is by someone named Thomas Lovejoy in the International Herald Tribune. He gave an example of how we can, for each billion ton of plant restoration, each billions of ton of plant restoration, which is quite possible, in other words, reforesting what we deforested, we can absorb enough CO2 to reduce by 1 part per million. Enough CO2 to reduce by 1 part per million. So if we were to do that over and over and over, we could actually use the natural system to, in a very real way, use our natural system to reduce the impact that we have up until now. So there are some real solutions. But it requires leadership and will. There's a university role in these solutions, and I'm going to touch mostly of my presentation about the university and its role in solutions for sustainability, solutions with respect to climate change. So sustainability, again, for the definition, promotes the inherent need to find the long-term balance between economic development, environmental conservation, and advancement of social and cultural ideals. So I personally view sustainability as a trajectory that needs fine-tuning at all time. And simply put, it means treating the earth